Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. What exactly is the Bermuda Triangle? Do pilots avoid going there? How many lives the triangle has claimed? And how evil are the 11 siblings of the Bermuda Triangle scattered across the world? What are the things you never knew about the Bermuda Triangle? Hang on to find out. Movement of Bermuda Triangle. Yes, you heard it right. The Bermuda Triangle moves. We often think, what's the deal with the Bermuda Triangle? Why do people associate so many evil things with this place? A place whose real boundaries we don't even know about. Yes, that's true. We just know that the area starts from the tip of Bermuda Island to Miami, and from Miami to Puerto Rico, and back to the tip of Bermuda, making a triangle shape. But these lines aren't straight and boundaries are vague. The triangle moves given the time and weather conditions, so the precise boundaries of the triangle are not known. All that we know is it's an area located in the western part of the Atlantic Ocean and is supposed to be between 500,000 and 1.5 million square miles. Other names of the Bermuda Triangle. It's been called a lot of things: the Devil's Triangle, the Hoodoo Sea, the Limbo of the Lost. It's been attributed to consume more than 100 ships, 75 aircraft, and 1,000 human lives. The numbers, however, are not certain, given there's no official data on the subject. In fact, this evil space has captivated millions due to its mystery and doesn't even appear on any world maps. The U.S. Board on Geographic Names does not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as an official region of the Atlantic Ocean. All that happens in that vague region is either blamed on the sea monsters or aliens or an ancient curse or Illuminati conspiracy. Some people even dare to say it's a gateway to the underworld. Others say it's a wormhole to another dimension. No one knows anything with certainty, and that's the only certain thing we know about the place. Oh, there's another thing we know: the evil siblings of this place. They're all collectively called vile vertices and are scattered across the world map in 2 horizontal lines as shown to you right now. There are 12 of them, including the infamous Bermuda Triangle. We'll come back to them later in our video, but first, let's talk about how it all began. Legend of Bermuda Triangle. We know it's a region which comes across the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, whose exact boundaries are still not known to anyone in the world. The legend started when Christopher Columbus sailed through the sea and reportedly claimed to see a great flame of fire, followed by a strange light that appeared at a distance and compass needle motioning madly in a circle. Well, scientific explanations say the fire could be a meteor, and erratic compass reading was attributed to the fact that the Bermuda Triangle was one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north lined up. Furthermore, William Shakespeare's play The Tempest was also based on a real-life Bermuda shipwreck added to the area's aura of mystery. Nonetheless, the incident, which really captured the public's attention, happened in the 20th century. In March 1918, the USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long Navy cargo ship, sank between Barbados and Chesapeake with over 300 men and 10,000 tons of manganese on board. No SOS was sent, no distress calls made. It just vanished in thin air, and the wreckage was never found. "Only God and the sea know what happened to the great ship," were the words of U.S. President Woodrow Wilson. In 1941, 2 of the Cyclops' sister ships sank without a trace on the same route. Then a series of vessels disappearing and abandoned ships being found started. In December of 1945, 5 Navy bombers carrying 14 men took off for practice, but the malfunctioning compasses made all 5 planes fly here until they ran out of fuel and had to ditch at sea. On the same day, a rescue plane with 13 men on board also disappeared. A rescue mission was launched which searched the area for weeks, but nothing was found. The Navy had to declare in their report they'd flown to Mars to conclude the search. And all these incidents of reported disappearances and abandonment started the legends of the Bermuda Triangle. But science here still attributes all these incidents to either human error or weather phenomena. Story of twins George and David. It was almost 10 years before the 1945 incident when a private plane passed through the Bermuda Triangle. George and David were twin brothers, officers in the American Navy. Their father died when both brothers were on duty. To attend the funeral of their father, they booked a private plane so they could attend the funeral of their father. After flying 20 minutes on the triangle, the pilot informed the two brothers that the plane's whole systems had collapsed. No check meter for the checking fuel, direction, or some others were working at the time. They explained further that from such a height, they were just able to see water all around and nothing else. The pilot slept, but fortunately a co-pilot was also there with them. Then he controlled the plane for a few hours, and he found a place to land. So years later, when an American incident occurred, they came in front and explained their story. Bermuda Triangle Theories. The term Bermuda Triangle was coined in 1964 by a traveler named Vincent Gaddis, and until then, the place had an infamous reputation with many more mysterious accidents. 3 passenger planes sent all's well messages just before disappearing from the face of the earth for good. Charles Berlitz, a novelist, wrote a sensational bestseller about the legend in 1974, and since then, literature and Hollywood have started blaming anything that happened in the Triangle to anything and everything ranging from aliens, Atlantis, and sea monsters, time warps, and paranormal entities. Behavior of Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is very famous for its mysteries and destructions. Till now, many of the aircraft and ships, boats, and human lives have vanished and died. The researcher tried their best to find the destroyed material, however most of the destroyed material wasn't found, and the few abandoned ships and wrecks that have been found weren't found from the point where they vanished. Ships and planes passing through the Bermuda Triangle lost their connection with radar. It's thought that this part of the sea contains a strong vortex, or there live sea monsters and aliens. So there's something abnormal in the triangle due to the large cargo ships getting in trouble. Is the Bermuda Triangle really evil? Well, all that's happened in the Triangle has not convinced world leaders or institutes to regard this place as something specially evil or sinister. The maritime lead insurance company, Lloyd's of London, does not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as an especially hazardous place. The U.S. Coast Guard also shares the same stance, stating that nothing has ever been discovered in the region that might suggest that the casualties or disappearances were the result of anything other than physical causes. Do pilots avoid the Bermuda Triangle? Originally, this is just a myth that pilots don't fly planes through the Bermuda Triangle. Since in the past, many jets, ships, and planes have vanished, and some have survived also. So there's no fact that pilots avoid flying through the Bermuda Triangle. They're depending upon circumstances that there's a fact or myth that the Bermuda Triangle moves and is not a fixed region. In 2017, a Turkish airline was flying to land in Cuba, in the city of Havana. So because of this location, the flight passed through the Bermuda Triangle. When the pilot was crossing the triangle, he informed the control room that the plane was behaving abnormally, and he didn't have any control. Because of this reason, he left the triangle by changing to another direction and landed at Dulles Airport. That time, the pilot saved 440 passengers' lives. In 2015, a ship was going from Florida to Puerto Rico. The ship vanished from radar on the 1st of October. In the last contact with the ship captain, it felt like water got into the ship. That was the last contact with the ship captain. The U.S. did a combined search and operation rescue for a complete month, and at the end, they found the ship body 15,000 deep inside the triangle. A recent mysterious accident. The earliest mystery of the triangle in the near past happened on December 28, 2020. The boat traveling with 20 people from the Bahamas to Lake Worth vanished from the compass and did not return ever. It was a casual trip by boat. Now the question, what happened to the boat in the sea? Did they face a storm in the sea or vanish in the water? However, it was searched for by the U.S. for around 4 days and nights, with the only information that the boat had to pass the triangle to reach Lake Worth. They searched around 17,000 square miles, but there were no results. After all, they quit the research with nothing in hand. Counter theories to Bermuda Triangle mystery. The reputation that this region has conveys as if every ship that sails through and every plane that flies through its space will disappear. But quite unlikely, Bermuda Triangle does not have a high incidence of disappearances. Disappearances do not occur with greater frequency in the Bermuda Triangle than in other comparable regions of the Atlantic Ocean. In fact, a study by the World Wildlife Fund in 2013 showed the Bermuda Triangle has not even secured any position in the world's 10 most dangerous bodies of water for shipping lanes. In fact, the region receives heavy air and maritime traffic and is one of the most traveled shipping lanes in the world. For the compass error, well, the agonic line sometimes passes through the Bermuda Triangle, which means that true north and magnetic north align themselves, and this fact explains the magnetic declination on a compass. The region is also subjected to hurricanes, waterspouts, and tropical storms, explaining the disorientation of ships and aircraft. A powerful ocean current known to sharply change local weather called the Gulf Stream also passes through the Bermuda Triangle. Scientists have presented many theories, but the hexagonal cloud theory is the most viable. Hexagonal cloud theory. Meteorologists and scientists from the University of Colorado examined satellite photos from the Bermuda Triangle and were quite surprised to find the hexagonal clouds just above the region. The theory presented in 2015 summarized that the ships and planes that have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle might have vanished due to these six-sided clouds. These clouds are approximately 20 to 55 miles wide and create air currents of around 170 miles per hour. These currents are no less than air bombs, and no ship or aircraft can operate in such high winds. The air bombs are formed by microbursts, and they're basically blasts of air that can take down 300-foot-long vessels quite easily. Experts used satellite radar, wherein they identified and tracked the hexagonal clouds formed in the Bahamas on the western tip of the Bermuda Triangle. The clouds caused air currents up to 100 miles per hour and caused surges in water waves. Clouds with the same pattern were also observed in other parts of the world. For example, a UK radar discovered such formations in the North Sea off the coast of the UK and determined wind speeds of 100 miles per hour that caused waves in the North Sea to be more than 45 feet high. Imagine an aircraft or ship in such weather. Experts also believe that clouds usually don't form such straight edges, let alone six edges forming a hexagon. This is an anomaly of Bermuda Triangle. But this exceptional case is not the only one. There are 11 other places like that called the siblings of the Bermuda Triangle, where the Earth behaves in abnormal ways. Combined, they're called vile vortices. Vile vortices. Simply put, vile vortices are regions on Earth where strange, unexplainable things happen. More precisely speaking, they're areas on planet Earth where anomalies occur naturally due to the planet's natural electromagnetic fields being stronger in these parts than anywhere else in the world. They're characterized by magnetic anomalies, abnormal phenomena, and unexplainable happenings. And all these 12 places appear to be geometrically connected as well and are perfectly placed in line above and below the equator. Eerily enough, they're all equidistant to each other, and if we join them together, they form the 12 tips of an icosahedron. The credit of finding all these vortices goes to the traveler, biologist, and writer Ivan T. Sanderson, who also established the Society for the Investigation of the Unexplained. He named those 12 vortices the 12 Devil's Graveyards and comprehensively talked about all the disappearances of ships and aircraft, especially in these 12 regions. Let's talk about them and count with me how much you know about them. 1. Algerian megaliths. This place is an architectural anomaly which dumbfounds the experts as to how advanced the ancient civilization had to be to build such monumental tombs. The 13 tombs are built on a pair of hills for the royalty of Berber to be laid within, but no one truly knows whose burial place these tombs are. 2. Easter Island. Many of us know about this region as a place where giant statues stand and look over the horizon. Well, Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, is a volcanic island which houses more than 1,000 giant stone statues of human figures, locally known as moai, which means statues in Spanish. These statues belong to some important ancestors and were built to commemorate them, but their existence and construction is no less than a marvel and mystery for us. 3. The North Pole. The North Pole is home to uncountable strange things, but the most recent account that stumped scientists was its movement. Yes, the North Pole is drifting at a speed of 34 miles per year towards Siberia from Canada. 4. The South Pole. The South Pole is another anomaly full of alien invasion. mysterious phenomena, and strange incidents where the sun can disappear for a whole year. The last fact is amazing though, right? It's the most inhospitable region for humans on this planet. As the North and South poles are moving, what if they switch sides? It's been speculated that every 200,000 to 300,000 years a pole reversal happens. But now, though the poles are moving, it's been more than twice since it last happened. Experts say that in case of switching sides, multiple magnetic fields would fight each other, which would reduce the Earth's protective magnetic field by up to 90%. That field shields us from all kinds of hazardous space radiation. Imagine what would happen in case of a polar flip. 5. MOHENJO-DARO. Situated in Pakistan, Mohenjo-Daro are famous ruins of an ancient civilization. The real name of this 5,000-year-old city is not yet known, and Mohenjo-Daro is a term used to describe the ruins, which literally means the mound of the dead. It's one of the earliest major cities on our planet, and various experts have termed this city as ground zero for the explosion of ancient nukes. 6. HAMAKULIA. The next anomalous region is located east of Hawaii and once housed a very high-energy volcano, according to some researchers. It's an undersea volcano that's been said to consume many ships and aircraft. They all just vanished in thin air. 7. Devil's Sea. We can very well call this place as the Bermuda Triangle of Japan, situated just south of Tokyo. This area is known for disappearances of ships and aircraft. Between 1952 and 1954, 5 Japanese warfare ships vanished in this region, and also the ships who went searching for them. 8. The WHARTON Basin. Situated in the northeast quarter of the Indian Ocean, the WHARTON Basin is an area underwater with great depths which is largely unexplored. It's the exact spot where it's most likely that MH370 with 239 people on board disappeared after taking off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia, as the signals from the black box were traced back to this area. 9. New Hebrides Trench. This whopping 7,600-meter deep ocean trench is situated between the islands of Vanuatu and New Caledonia. The region said to hold many ancient secrets and a lot of undiscovered marine life, because who knows what's deep down those 2,500 feet? 10. The South Atlantic Anomaly. Popularly known as SAA, this region is the closest to the surface to radiation from the Earth's interior, and therefore regularly exposes orbiting aircraft to extremely high levels of radiation due to this quirk in the Earth's magnetic field in the region. The conditions are harmful for electronic devices and humans. Over the period of several decades, South Pole Anomaly has been responsible for dozens of spacecraft failures. 11. The Megaliths of Zimbabwe. Great Zimbabwe is home to giant stone structures erected without using mortar. The megaliths are located near an area of the Sahara Desert where planes mysteriously disappear, bringing a question mark on the region. Some experts don't believe that indigenous Africans could have built such a huge, extensive network of monuments, but they reluctantly have to accept the fact that they were indeed built by Africans. 12. Bermuda Triangle. And finally, the most famous of all, the Bermuda Triangle, which has been dubbed as the black hole of Earth for quite some time thanks to all the disappearances in the region, but now scientists are trying to find rational and logical explanations of all these anomalies associated with the triangle. Until then, avoiding the region is the best option, right? Shelly Island in the Bermuda Triangle. Don't think that the Bermuda Triangle has just claimed lives and ships and aircraft. It's also given something quite recently, an island. Locally named by people as Shell Island because of a lot of shells scattered there, this sandbank appeared in just a couple of months in 2017. The island's off Cape Point in North Carolina and is becoming something of a tourist attraction, but authorities don't want any of the people near the island because of the strong currents formed due to the gap separating the sandbank from the mainland. Fishing hooks that were settled on the sandbank, sharks and stingrays swimming in shallow waters. Experts aren't sure about the future of the island, as some of them think that it'll keep growing while others think that it'll vanish as quickly as it appeared. We'll see you next time.